What up YouTube, it's your boy Anime Specialist. So what a great Black Clover episode, man. It was action packed, especially for Lady Leona that we saw in action for the first time. She's powerful, man. I knew that she would be powerful, but it was something else. I didn't think she would be that strong, but she was something else. So I can't wait to see more of Lady Leona in the future of this series, but it was something else. This episode was one of my favorite episodes of the series. I'm not saying it was a masterpiece, but fighting wise, the way that Lady Leona was fighting, it was one of my favorite fights, because one of the things that I like the most in shonen anime and fighting anime is the hand-to-hand combat, and Lady Leona had all of that. She was kind of a Natsu type fighter in this week's episode, because Natsu in Fairy Tail, he's a dragon slayer, and he uses his feet, his hands to fight with fire, and she was kind of doing the same thing, but she was even more of a badass. Before I talk about the rest of the Lady Leona versus Raia fight, I just want to say that I love how, Noelle sometimes looks down on people, it's just fascinating. She's an incredible character, and I like how she looks down on people, especially, people weaker than her, so it was kind of cool to see that. This screenshot right there, I love that screenshot especially. Anyway, obviously it was Lady Leona versus Raia, the last member of the Third Eye from the Eye of the Midnight Sun. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think that we would see him fight so early in the mission. I thought he was gonna be the last boss maybe of this arc, not counting Lich, obviously, but I thought that we were gonna see him way later than that. But we saw him at the beginning of the episode, and it looked like, by what we saw in this week's episode, that Lady Leona is gonna kill him, pretty easily. But I just want to say that there was some art style and animation style in this week's episode that was pretty interesting. Like that screenshot right there, I thought that the animation and art style for that shot was pretty interesting because it showed how fierce Lady Leona really is. It showed how strong, how of a beast she is, so I really like that art style. And this right there, it kind of went from the black one to this one repetitively, and I thought that it was a great way to show how fierce of a warrior she is. We all know what Raia can do. He fought Yami with the other members of the Third Eye a while ago. His magic is copy magic, so they said something pretty interesting in this week's episode. He said that the only way that he can copy others' magic is by touching their grimoire. I don't know if we already knew that, but if we didn't, I thought that that was a pretty good information that we didn't get before, so it was kind of interesting. And just seeing him using all kind of magic was impressive, because he has to rely on a lot of his mana to use this kind of magic. We saw him use light magic, the same magic that Lich used against Yami, and he thought that because it was really fast that he was going to be able to defeat Lady Leona, but herself, she is really fast, so she just burned the hell out of the light magic, so it seems like because her fire is that strong and that hot, she can burn magic by itself, so that's kind of crazy. We saw her burn Yami's magic, dark magic, even though it wasn't as strong like she said. She can burn others' magic. It's kind of complicated. Let me know in the comments down below, but it seems like because her magic is that strong, because Lady Leona's fire is that hot, she can burn others' magic, so that's crazy, man. So like I said, we saw Raia use all kind of magic. We saw Raia use Lich's magic, which is light magic. We saw him even use the salamander, that's Fana's magic, if I remember well. So that's kind of crazy, man. I didn't think that he could use a spirit magic, Fana spirit magic, in particular. That was kind of crazy to me that he could do that, but obviously copy magic. I should have known. I ain't gonna lie, I was tripping for a moment because we saw that Raia was copying Asta's anti-magic, and for a moment I was really surprised because I thought that he was able to do that when he used it, but a few seconds later we saw that he can't really copy anti-magic, and Lady Leona just destroyed the sword pretty easily with one punch. If he was able though to use anti-magic, I thought that he could have won that fight because it's not a good matchup for people that uses magic. Obviously, I think that Asta against anyone that has magic could have a chance because of those swords, you know. So I thought that if Raia would have been able to copy Asta's anti-magic, he would have had a chance. And by the way, the soundtrack and the OSTs that we heard in this week's episode was amazing, man. All throughout the episode, the OSTs, the soundtrack, I thought was really good. We've heard some of the OSTs before, but I thought that there was some new ones. I'm not really sure, so let me know in the comments down below. But I really thought that the music matched the fights that were going on in this week's episode. So bravo, kudos to the staff that made this week's episode. We saw some Raia flashback, and something that he said, I think before or after the flashback, he said that they killed a Lich. So I think when he say they, I think he's talking about the royals like Lady Leona, Noel, you know, their families, their ancestors maybe. They said that they killed Lich, so I'm not really sure what's that all about, but it seems like all of the other flashback that we saw where the elves were killed by someone, maybe Lich was also killed. I don't know how he was resurrected or something like that. I don't know. We know that they want to become their true self again, but something happened that isn't really clear right now, you know. So I can't wait to know what the hell happened to Lich, what the hell happened to that, you know, special race, the elves, you know. So I really want to know, but it seems like Lich was killed and Raia was really angry about it. Even though he was angry, he wasn't a match against Lady Leona, man. She's way too powerful, she's way too strong. I didn't expect that. I expected her to be really strong, but I didn't expect that, you know. So right now she's probably the strongest of the Magic Knight captains, you know. Maybe with William. I can't say really William right now because I haven't seen enough of him, but she's probably the strongest of the the Magic Knight captains. Because so far of the Magic Knight captains, we saw Yami fight so far multiple times, and we know how strong he is. We saw Nozel in this week's episode a little bit, but that's the most that we've seen him fight so far, so I can't really put him in the discussion right now. I think that he's gonna show us way more in a few episodes. We saw Charlotte fight. I don't think she's I don't think she's in the top 3, but she's pretty strong. So right now I'd say Lady Leona, Yami, and Nozel are probably the strongest with William. You know, that's the top 4. So yeah, man, that's my top 4 right now. Lady Leona is at the top. Without a doubt, she's at the top, man. She's something else. But we learned something for why she was that strong, and I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't understand it really well. So let me know in the comments down below. But there's something called a mana zone, and it's the ability to harness the mana that's floating, you know, around you know, people that can use magic. So the reason why Lady Leona was, you know, that strong is because she was able to use the mana floating around her and put it in herself to, you know, beat the hell out of Raia or something like that. I'm not really sure, so I'm kind of paraphrasing what this specific power does, but it's pretty interesting, man. I like the concept. I think I understand it, but if not, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, man, that's something else, because using the mana, it's kind of like using chakra around you know, a ninja in Naruto. I'm not really sure, but I think I understand it a little bit. We saw I think it was use it at the end of the episode, and he used it out of the blue. You know, I didn't know he could do that. I don't think any of the other characters knew that he could do that. You know, so is really advanced, man. It's crazy how strong and how talented he is, because he's just became a Magic Knight a few months ago, you know, and he's already that strong. But yeah, man. Right at the end of the episode, we saw something or someone. I'm not really sure. I think it's someone, but I don't even know who that is, man. I have no clue who that is. I'm really wondering who that is, but I think it's probably a powerful member of the Eye of the Midnight Sun. I'm not really sure, but hopefully we'll know in next week's episode. But yeah, man, like I said, I love this week's episode because of the way that Lady Leona was fighting. Hand-to-hand combat is my favorite kind of combat in fighting shonen anime, you know, so I love that episode. I didn't think it was a masterpiece, but the fighting with, you know, the animation and art style, plus, you know, the music, the OSTs, the soundtrack, I thought that it made this episode amazing for me. So let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below, and let me know what you think is gonna happen next. Before I end the video, I just want to talk about a top 10 Black Clover character poll that was made a few days ago. The first list is basically Japanese readers, you know, that voted who their favorite character was. And the first character was Asta, the second Yami. Yami is my favorite character, so I'm glad that he's in the top 10, top 2. After that is Noelle. Obviously, she's my favorite female character, I think. After that, it's Yuno at number 4. Lady Leona at number 5. She's become one of my favorite characters, maybe my top 2 because of this week's episode. Number 6 was Charlotte. 7 Charmy maybe because of how cute she is and how much she eat. You know, maybe it's because of that. I don't know. Number 8 was Mimosa. Mimosa is one of my favorite female characters in the show, so I understand why. Number 9, Luck. Luck, you know, we know how strong he is and how kind of crazy he is. And number 10, Gaucher. So Gaucher, he's not really one of my favorite character, but you know, he's cool. So that was the list for the Japanese readers. That was the top 10 favorite character in their opinion. So now I'm gonna read the top 10 favorite characters for the English readers. Now the English readers top 10 favorite character is pretty similar. I think that the only two characters that changed was Finro and Zora. So in the Japanese readers it was Gaucher and Charlotte, I think. So that's the two characters, the 4 characters that changed. But the first character was Asta as the favorite character, Yami after that, Noelle, Lady Leona, Yuno, Charmy, Zora. Obviously he's a great character, Luck, Mimosa, and Finro. So it's a pretty similar list, except that Finro and Zora are in it. But yeah, the top 4 is the same. It's just, you know, in a different order, I think. I mean, I think it's the same top 5, except that in the Japanese favorite character poll, Yuno is at 4 and Lady Leona, sorry, is at 5. And then in the English favorite character poll character, Yuno is at 5 and Lady Leona at 4, you know. So it's kind of similar, except that there's different characters. But yeah, man, that's the only thing that I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to put, you know, the poll of favorite character for each Japanese readers and English readers in this week's video, because I thought that it was pretty interesting and pretty important. But yeah, man, it was a great episode. In my opinion, it was one of my favorite episodes. Like I said, let me know what you thought about this week's episode. I do Black Clover reviews every Tuesday, so subscribe for that. And I also do other anime related things like Fire Force reviews on Fridays, Dr. Stone reviews on Fridays, One Piece reviews on Saturdays, and Kimetsu no Yaiba reviews on Saturdays too. So there's like 5 animes that I'm reviewing, so I'm gonna repeat myself a little bit. But Black Clover on Tuesdays, Fire Force and Dr. Stone are both on Fridays, and One Piece plus Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer are both on Saturdays, so they're great animes. I reviewed the first episode of Dr. Stone and Fire Force last Friday. They were a great episode, both first a great episode. The animation and art in Fire Force is amazing. Same thing for Dr. Stone, but we saw a little bit more in Fire Force because there was fights, and I just like everything about this anime. Dr. Stone is pretty interesting. It's going to be one of my favorite anime this season. The Wano arc in One Piece just started, and the animation and art for this arc is going to be amazing, man. Like I said in other videos, there's a new director for the One Piece series, so everything about from animation to art in this Wano arc is amazing, so I can't wait to see more. But I think I talked too much a little bit. I'm at like 16 minutes for this video, so that's way too much, but I think I talked about everything that I wanted to. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, man. Anime Specialist out. Peace.